Hey, how's it going? So Fire Emblem 6 is a game that people either love or hate, and judging by the title I put in this video, yeah, I don't like this game, it's pretty bad. So, here are at least 2 reasons why this game is bad, and why you should never touch this game. Okay, so up first is the fact that Elliot is not a very good or interesting lord. He's not too great as a unit. He's more of a liability if anything, and has little to none in terms of characterization. The only characterization he gets is his dialogue between generics, God, recruitable characters, Nina 2.0, and a Dracophile with daddy issues. He does get more interactions with other characters via supports, but supports are slow. Supports take about as long as a Path of Radiant's enemy phase on the slow settings times 3. All that for some sweet, juicy support bonuses. Oh, and some character interaction, that as well. Lack of character balance. There are some units that just dominate the whole game throughout. Other units, while not great or serviceable, and are just replacements for other units. And then there are the units that you just have to question why they were made. You get an Armor Knight in the first chapter that is so bad, I struggled to keep him alive. And then 7 chapters later you get a pair of more Armor Knights that are even worse. The amount of effort to turn them from god-awful to someone resembling a decent unit is just not worth it. Lynn doesn't exist in this game. Growth rates are bad. The growth rates in this game aren't too spectacular, but they're at least passable in some areas in the units that excel in that area. But then you see Barf's resistance growth, and now you know why Barf isn't a mage killer. Or a great unit. Hit rates being Okay, picture this. Sophia missing. Okay, that's just regular Sophia. Now imagine Rutger missing a 100. Very surprising, I know. But the hit rates aren't actually bugged. It's the exact same as in FE7 and 8. The hit rates are only bad because the weapon hit rates are a bit lower than the other games. Enemies actually have a speed and luck stat, and also terrain bonuses. But yeah, no, the RNG is definitely bugged. Map design. Some notable examples of the game's bad map designs are chapters 1, 2, 3, the whole game. Mainly guiding chapters are just some of the most frustrating things to play through, as there are an abundance of status saves, shit map gimmicks, and hordes of enemies that make things unfair and unfun. Or I could use the war. Generic plot. The plot of this game is just another generic Fire Emblem story. A young boy with bright colored anime hair races an army and stops Big Bad Empire. And there's also dragons? Wow, how original. It's not like that's the plot to every other Fire Emblem game that came before and after it. It still works and it's still enjoyable, but it's just so overdone and not very original. Generic villains. Okay, so we got a man-child daddy issues, Kemph 2.0, female Medius, cool dude, literally the same character with a palette change. No, you can't recruit him. Exposition dragon, hot lady number 68, and gay bandits. The villains aren't necessarily bad. They're either just average or stuff we've seen before. Zephyr was the exception, but there are better villains than him. How the heck do I define Pulse? Status staves are bad. They're not Thracian level bad, but they're big nuisances to every party. Do you like to get berserked, sleeped, and or silenced without having a restore staff available? No? Then f*** you then. Weapon imbalance. Not all weapons are created equally. Some are good, decent, or a tier above any other existing weapon. Killer weapons are generally the best type of weapon to have, as they have high hit, high might, decent weight, and have high crit. Any weapon that isn't axes have pretty alright to crit hit. Legendary weapons are the best, but don't use them up fully, as that takes away your good ending. Light brands are shit. It can't crit, give weapon XP, and is generally a pretty shitty weapon. Recruiting certain characters. Okay, so picture this. You're in chapter 11B, really questioning why you went this route instead of the superior A route. You're just trudging along, and suddenly Bartre and some generic arrive, and you're thinking, hey, it's Bartre. The only reason why I would go the B route. Wow. And then Bartre's like, I'm gonna go head straight into the exact spot where reinforcements went, where there's a promoted druid and a shaman that can absolutely destroy my entire B. There's absolutely nothing that can go wrong, and he just got killed by said druid and shaman. can happen to Echidna as well, but it's more unlikely for that to happen. Recruiting Percival is a pain as you have to place your dancer in a position where he or she is just out of range of Dimitri and his squad, but just within range where you can recruit him. It's not a hard thing to do, it's just more of an annoyance than anything. Rukter's a to recruit as he can randomly kill you with his killing edge or do significant damage to one of your units if you were just so happen to be in his range. Keeping Zealot, Trek, and Noah alive is a pain. Geese is an annoyance. Klein and Thea are a pain. I forgot to recruit Ray. Calf is more trouble than she's worth. Fur and Shin can kick my ass in the damn fog. Gareth can put you over in chapter 15. And Hugh can put you in depth. Rankings don't matter. Take it from someone who's SSS ranked Thracia multiple times in 0% growth, elite mode, reverse recruitment, LTC, you name it. I've been in several times over. Thracia is perfect and so is his rankings. Unlike FE6's ranking system. What do you mean I have to have gold, train units, and win 40% of battles? Why can't I just warp skip everything and call it a day? Where's casual mode? New classes are bad. Some new classes were either added to already pre-existing class paths or just added a new class line. Troubadours now go into Valkyries, Bow Knights are now the superior nomads, Molinis is his own class, and Dark Mages are finally playable. Only one of them is above average while the other two are either decent or Ray. Yeah, Shamans aren't that great. Hard mode is unfair. Farmland 6 hard mode feels like when you stub the corner of your toe at midnight after getting a glass of milk. It feels like watching a 0% growth LTC playthrough and then knowing that you'll never be this good at Fire Emblem. It feels like not knowing what a pitfall is. There are 170,000 words in the English language, but I cannot find the string of words to describe how painful FE6 hard mode is. The fact that the game is long and has big open maps makes it a little worse to play. Early game is absolute hell. Hey, let me put boards here to bait an enemy. He gets 2-shot. Mid game is manageable. Still a little tough, but it's not that shit show. In game, it's fine. Everything's fine as long as I got the savior. There's a horse slayer. If you're into cock and ball torture, then this is definitely your game. Underwhelming finale. The finale is a little bland. It's just a square! Idun is a total pushover. She can get 2-shot by Marth, and that's not Selph's doing. It's due to the sheer power of the Binding Blade. And Faye, but she got vored. There are Manketeats who attempt to block the path, but they can be taken out rather easily, or just straight up avoided. Just slay the big dragon and boom, credits. If I were to rank this chapter, I would give this a respectable 1 out of 10. Same goes for the rest of the game. Farmland 6 sucks, please like and subscribe.